Hello, Leo. Welcome to your December 2020 Oracle and Tarot reading. My name is Tessa, and this is Tessa's Tarot. Before I jump into your reading for December 2020, I just want to say a couple of things about this specific reading. I'm actually going to be using two different decks than I normally use. I'm going to be using the Queen of the Moon Oracle and Mystic Monday's Tarot. Usually I use Vintage Wisdom Oracle and Influence of the Angels, but I thought that this would be a really good opportunity to switch things up, especially coming out of Scorpio season where a lot of like repressed emotions and really deep, heavy, intense feelings kind of start to come to the surface a little bit. I don't think that people usually work through those emotions as best as they could. And I feel like Sagittarius season, especially with it wrapping up the end of the year, it's like a really good time to, because the energy is not as heavy, but the energy is very creative and it's very like fast talking and fast moving. And since for the most part, a lot of us are in quarantine, and Sagittarius season is typically about long distance travel, going out, meeting new people, and we can't really do that. We're a bit restricted on that. So I figure what a great time to take a little inward journey. And I'm sure, everyone is really tired of doing the inward journey. We've been doing the inward journey all year round, but just hang in there because 2020 is almost over. And I feel like this is going to be the final push through for Sagittarius season. It's really going to be about like taking those emotions and taking the heavier stuff that we felt and experienced during Scorpio season and transmuting it into something creative, or kind of figuring out how to express the things that we have been feeling in a more in a way that's a little bit more collective minded, in a way that where other people can kind of relate, so it's not just about like your personal experiences, your emotions, and the things that you as an individual are going through, but also like how you can share your experiences and into something creative, how you can channel it into something creative, into a project, but also how you can communicate it in a way that's very like unifying, it's very relatable, where other people can kind of relate and be like, yeah, I know what you mean, and da da da. So, because like I feel like, yes, like we do have limitations as far as going out. They're closing down restaurants again with COVID cases on the rise. But that doesn't mean that you can't broaden your network on the internet. That doesn't mean that you can't reach out to people that maybe you wouldn't normally talk to, people that live in other parts of the world, just kind of like expand your network, and just, communicate with others. So, Sagittarius is kind of a fast moving energy. So like I said, it's kind of like when you're limited in terms of where you can go and what you can do. What do you do with that energy? Well, I mean, you can always go inward, an adventure doesn't always have to be venturing out into the world. It can also be going on adventures within yourself and like, understanding deeper truths. I mean, Sagittarius is also about speaking your truth and going on a spiritual journey and discovering to some extent like what your purpose is, what your mission is, being able to educate and teach other people through your experiences, through your knowledge and what you have learned, because Sagittarius is also like teachers. They are ruled by the ninth house, and the ninth house is about philosophy, belief, spirituality, and just kind of more thought-provoking, cultured forms of expression and things like that. So I thought it would be a really good idea to use the Queen of the Moon Oracle, because the Queen of the Moon Oracle kind of dives into the moon phases, it dives into emotion, what's going on beneath the surface, and I really do feel like Scorpio season is still lingering. especially if not everybody has worked through their feelings yet. So it's kind of like lingering. So this reading is definitely going to focus kind of on what, what are some of those underlying lingering energies that you guys are dealing with this month, what you're going to be dealing with for December 2020, and also how can you kind of transmute it and turn it into something like valuable, something creative, something expressive. So that is the spiel for this video, for this phase of videos. I don't know if you've noticed or not, whether you're new or not, but I did change the location of my tarot table again, sort of again. I moved it a couple times in my bedroom, but I finally rearranged my apartment in a way to where I can fit my tarot table in my living room, and I really like it. Even though you can't see my living room, it kind of makes me feel like you guys are, like, it's a more social setting. My living room is very open and social, socially inviting, okay? So I kind of just like to pretend that you guys are here in my living room with me instead of in my bedroom. And now my bedroom, that space that I had my tarot table, it's now like a workout space. So there you have it. I also finally got my temperance shirt in the mail, so I got to represent Sagittarius season with my temperance shirt, the major arcana of the Sagittarius. All right, so let's jump into your reading. I'm going to pull 3 cards from the Oracle. We have I already pre-shuffled the decks, by the way, just in case you were wondering. So we have balance. So that's going to be really important for you guys this month is staying balanced, creation. And I mean, it makes complete sense with you guys being Leo energy, fire energy, and your energy does represent creativity and creation. It would make sense that you would use this season of fire, mutable fire, to tap in a little bit more to your creative energy. And then we have the path. Wow. How cool are these cards, Leo? We have balance, creation, and the path. So this is going to be a really, really significant time for you in reference to how you are going to focus in on what you want to bring into 2021. Okay, this last month of 2020, especially considering everything that has happened this year, it is really important. Okay, we're ending the cycle. We're ending a cycle, and allowing the accumulation of everything that has kind of happened this year to really just kind of cleanse you this month, and really just kind of think about what it is what intention you want to set for next year. I feel like it's going to be really big and really important, and especially for you guys. So for Sagittarius season over here for December 2020, we have balance, we have creation, and we have the path, okay? So it's going to be about like finding balance within yourself, probably finding balance between your emotional side, your inner world, and your expressive side, your creative world, and what it is you want to say, what it is you want to express, and to really kind of create your path in reference to the deeper things that are going on inside you, some of the things that maybe you had to deal with during Scorpio season. So I also do have to kind of say this, these are general readings. So, I try to give messages that can help like everybody. I try not to be like too specific, but I also read what the cards say. So don't like knock me for saying that, because even though I do like to focus on spiritual guidance, spiritual growth, inner growth, like understanding yourself a little bit better, I will read what the cards show me. So if things start coming out in the spread, once I start pulling these tarot cards that involve like maybe some other people you have in your life, then I'm going to address that, okay? So I'm going to pull the tarot cards, and then we're going to talk about them. So under balance, we have the Fool, and this is Uranus energy, major arcana. This is about taking risks, taking a leap of faith in a new direction. We have the 8 of Cups, Saturn in Pisces, kind of like walking away from something that isn't fulfilling you. Really, this is very much about creating your own path. This is very much about walking away from the things that just aren't doing it for you, and you being like, I'm going to just make my own way. Okay, then we have the Ace of Wands. Holy cow. Like, so this is probably a really, really good time for you. Like, Sagittarius season is probably very, very good for you. It's very, like, inspiring. It's very, I think it just kind of brings in a sense of, like, rejuvenation, a sense of, like, you kind of feel, like, at home here. With this Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is about new beginnings, new creative projects, new ideas, like just getting inspired, and that it looks like that's exactly what you need in order to start feeling balanced again. Okay, so for creation we have Judgment, and Judgment is going to be represented by Pluto, which is very much a scorpionic kind of energy. So it's totally about like what you've learned. Like, what did you learn during Scorpio season? What have you learned about your own depth, about your own emotions, about your own intensity, the things that go on within you? What have you learned, and what can you take with you into this next phase? The Hermit, Virgo, another major arcana. A lot of major arcana is coming out over here. Okay, so like going within, spending some time alone, spending some time by yourself, to really kind of contemplate and go within, to learn more about maybe like who you are, what it is you want, especially for the future. What it is you are really after. Like, what is it that you really want to like bring to the world? Because the Hermit energy, that Virgo energy, is very much about like being of service to other. Like, even though the Hermit spends time by himself, he's a loner. It still talks about going within, so you can kind of discover, in a way, what is needed without. Like what is almost like what is needed in the world, or what is needed. I mean, don't focus too much on that about being service to others. I think it'll kind of come in time. But first, it's kind of like you have to go within. You have to discover the truth within yourself. You have to spend time by yourself. You have to educate yourself. You have to, just learn as much as you need to learn, and to take as much time as you need to take. Yeah. And then we have the Five of Swords. This is Venus and Aquarius. This is really interesting. So Venus in Aquarius is like, I mean, this is kind of, how do I put it? This is a little, like, you might come out of this state. You might come out of this state of the inner journey that you take, the judgment that you face within yourself in reference to what you are learning, and transmuting into creative power. It could like take the form of this energy, which is kind of like going after what you want in a very, like with some deception, okay? It's kind of like going after what you want with a little bit of trickery. Because Venus in Aquarius is kind of like at its fall here with Venus in Aquarius. It's kind of like, it's kind of like, how to explain it? It's kind of like loving yourself above anybody else in a bad way. Okay, it's like, it's kind of like, it's like deceiving yourself in order to get what you want, in a way that can be deceiving to others. So there, it could it could, mm, like it can create some conflict. It can create some conflict within as well as without. Like it's kind of like trying to win at all costs and doing whatever it is you need to do to win, so to speak. But I do feel like there's like a disconnect. So I'm gonna keep pulling more cards to see if maybe something gets cleared up with this, because something feels disconnected. For the path, we have Seven of Pentacles. This is Saturn and Taurus. So this is about really kind of like going back maybe to something you've been working on and looking at the details a little bit better. Working on a project, getting a little bit more into the evaluating where you're at and seeing how you can progress things forward, how like the fruits of your labor can kind of start to be shared or be sold with the world. Then we have the Nine of Cups. This is Jupiter and Pisces. So this is about wish fulfillment. This is about getting exactly what you want. It's kind of like, it's not the Ten of Cups, so it's not complete and utter bliss and happiness and joy. But it is about getting what you want as an individual. It's kind of like being able to celebrate the fruits of your labor and everything that you've worked for, but also being kind of like cocky and egotistical about it. Kind of having this like Godhead attitude, like, I am the master of my own destiny type of thing. With the final card. And then we have, plot twist. Nine of Cups, and then right after that, the Ten of Cups. Mars in Pisces. Okay, this is a really good outcome. So it seems pretty clear that what it is you want is just complete bliss. I mean, it kind of makes sense. You guys are ruled by the sun. You just want happiness. You want to be emotionally fulfilled. You want your cake. You want your family. You want your friends. Like you just want to feel happy. You just want to feel like you've reached the end and you can just be like, all right, I've got everything that I need. Not just financially, but most importantly, emotionally. I think that that's like really important for you, is to just feel fulfilled emotionally, for you to feel happy, for you to feel at peace, for you to feel blissful, like joy, all that type of stuff. And this Five of Swords does kind of come off that you'll kind of stop at nothing to get it. But for some reason, I'm not feeling this as like a bad thing. Like, I don't know. I kind of sense that for you guys, the way that you use this energy, it maybe to some people, it can come off as being a little manipulative. Like it can come off as being maybe a little deceitful or a little, like a little rooted in trickery. What is popping up on my computer? What is this? Sorry, it's distracting me. Like maybe you have a sharp tongue, like your tongue might be a little sharp with the way that you communicate. Maybe like you like to put other people down. you know, for the sake of the bigger picture, like kind of like things like that. But this is really interesting. This is really interesting. There's a little bit of a, like, I feel like this month there's going to be a good amount of things that you're going to go through within, but also without, okay? Like sometimes I'll do readings for some signs and and like the whole reading has this energy of things that are happening within the person. Like I did this one Pisces reading where like the whole reading was about their intuition and how their intuition works. And it's so crazy how like the cards come out in a specific way and they show you exactly like what's going on. But this is kind of like an inward and an outward it's an inward journey while also balancing the outer world simultaneously to the inward journey. Because you understand that you can't be an introvert. Like you can't live inside your own like soul for the rest of your life. You actually have to do something about it. You can't just like contemplate and reflect all the time. You actually have to go out and do something about it. So it definitely seems like there's a new, there's like a new beginning. There is that sense that there's a new beginning here. There's going to be a new beginning in the way that you kind of evaluate things. There's a new beginning in the way that you evaluate your own expression, your own creativity, in what is valuable to you, what it is that you want to move towards and move away from. Okay. There's a new beginning in just kind of like understanding your personal nature, your inner nature, the part of you that becomes revealed to you when you're alone, when you spend time by yourself. Maybe things that you might be critical of within yourself. Maybe you might criticize yourself for some things, and it ends up getting expressed outwardly in a way that can also kind of like harm others, or it has the potential to be like your view of yourself. This Five of Swords might not even necessarily be, because I was getting like a different kind of vibe with this. It might not even necessarily be how you are behaving outwardly, but how you are viewing yourself internally, and you might be viewing yourself in kind of like a harsh way, especially with this Judgment card here and the Hermit here. If you're going within, and especially if you're being forced to go within to kind of like wake up to some truths about you, it could be it could be like a battle with your own inner ego. It could be a battle with your own inner ego, to be completely honest, okay? So it looks like you're going to really start working on things, though. You're really going to start working, setting out on this new path over here, working on the things that you need to work on internally so you can really get what you want, your wish fulfillment. And so you can be like emotionally fulfilled, happy, blissful. Like that's really all you want. That's really all you want. It's pretty, you're not even, it's not like you're asking for, like the world or like $1 million, although I'm sure we would all love that, but like you just want to be happy. So, yeah. Leo, this is your reading. Come back for mid-December. My computer is like hella far away from me. Oh my god. Come back for your mid-December reading, and I'll see you next time. Bye.